Okay, so the catch can came in, and this cost me 40 bucks. It's brand new. It came off like a 94 through 98 Dakota, and see how it has a full and an add line there. So, and you can be able to see how much, and this thing's got a bunch of room to puke if it gets hot and not lose its fluid. We're gonna put it in here, and I gotta do a little bit of work to make the mount for it. But first, what you do is, this part right here is not actually round. So what I do is I take a drill bit and I drill it, and then it ends up working out pretty good. And then I take a 1/4 inch pipe tap and I tap that hole. And what that'll let me do is put a fitting in there and run the overflow hose out. So I'm going to go get the fitting and the hose that I need. This one will go from here to the thermostat. So, and then we'll make the mount for it. So you can see how I got a barbed hose fitting up in there, threaded in now. And you see how I just kind of conformed, instead of being an oval, it's a circle. And it's not coming out. So what this allows me to do is, if it ever does puke, I can run that line to the inside of the car, that if it's going to puke it out, it's not going to go underneath the tire. So I can direct that line, you know, the overflow line, not to go underneath the tires and like kick myself sideways. So I need to go get the hoses now and make the mount for it. But it's going to go in here like this somehow. Alright, I got this piece of steel angle. And you see how it's the right width for it to drop in there. So what I need to do now is to make holes on the middle for this square part, and then make a smaller slot that goes down on both holes. And then once I get that done, I'll drill the hole, I'll mark and drill the hole for that is actually what holds it on right there, is that little dimple. So it'll go on there, slop down, pop into that dimple hole, and then this piece of angle will get welded on right in here. You'll be able to still get to the bolt and everything. So, alright, I'm going to do that now. Get this up in the mill, you'll see. Alright, I got it laid out and set up here in the mill with this little end mill. And I'm just going to cut it out here and then pop that hole, and we'll get it slid on and welded in position. I already got one of the shapes milled out, and now I got to mill out that other one over there and then pop the hole. Alright, the second one's cut out there, and I just got to pop that hole. Alright, so you see how it drops, slides in there and drops in that T, and then that little knob right there pops out there. You can kind of see it. Pops out of there, and that's what holds that thing from coming off. That's all the mount is for it. So now we can weld this on. Now we got that done. Take this off, paint it, and then hook the hoses up. Alright, come over here to the big sander and ground the corners off. And I took the grinder and took all the burrs off, so it's ready to paint once I get it welded on there. It's been touched up, so I want to go put it back on the plastic catch can, and then we're going to slide it into those little T's, and then let that little nipple catch in there, and then we're going to get tacked on where we think it's going to work. Weld it, take it off, paint it. Alright, I've ground the paint off where I'm going to want to weld this. I'm going to stick it up there and get it tacked, and then pop it off and weld it. So, and then paint it. And alright, test fit the hood, make sure there's 3/4 inch easy cap on there. So now I'm gonna take that off, and there's no way the wheel can hit it. So we're looking real good. We're gonna take the hood back off, take that bottle off there, and then fill it, and then weld it on. Alright, I got it welded on there. I was able to stitch it in the inside too, so she's not coming off. Now I have to let it cool a little bit, and then I can put some paint on it, and then slide the bottle back on. So, alright, I got it painted. So, we're going to shut the bottle back on. It might be dry. Yeah, don't feel too bad. So, this is how easy it is. Drop the first one in the notch down there. Drop the second one in the notch up here. Sorry, I got to reposition here a little bit. So get them both there in the notch. Push the bottle on. And you see how it dropped in there? Now it's... Now to take it off, you just put a screwdriver in right here. Push that dimple back out, and the bottle will come back off. So now I'm gonna hook the hoses up with some wire ties, and you know, put a wire tie around the bottle just to hold this hose, and run it to the center of the car. All right, so now we got a real proper catch canister. See, this is I got a full line there, and down there on the bottom it says add. So I actually can see and monitor what it's doing. And then this hose is wire tied. Because you got to remember, this thing actually sucks, and when that opens, there's a lot of energy there. And then when it sucks it back in, so it's actually doing this. You know, it's flowing back and forth. So this hose isn't able to move. And then if for some reason it does, I'll give you a scenario. Like if you blow a head gasket, a lot of times the compression will will fill this tank. And when it does, now it'll come all the way up. It'll hit that hose, and you notice I dropped it all the way out right in the middle of the car. So it's not gonna come underneath one of my tires. See the hose there? So if it pours all the antifreeze out, we're gonna dump it away from the tires. Hopefully we're gonna dump it out in the middle, and hopefully not, you know, have a wet down situation. But anyway, we got a proper catch can now, and I burnt myself doing hot rods for years, I'm telling you. A lot of people overlook the catch can. They'll do the shroud and they'll do everything else, and the car will still get hot. And it's because if you don't have a big enough catch can, you don't have enough reserve. You see how much reserve they gave at factory to come from, you know, basically the full line all the way up to there. So that's how much they're like, oh, it may fill up. And if it filled up, so if you had a little canister and it puked that much out and went on the ground, and guess what? You got a big air bubble in there. So to stay cool there, this is a big deal. And so, I mean, there might be a better factory one out there, but I lucked out once and came across this Dakota one, and I've been using it, you know, ever since I found out about it. It works real good. It's cylindrical, it's straight up and down, it's easy to mount, and it does, you know, on this car over here, I put there's a little one in there. There's a, you know, but you know, there's the normal catch can people run, but you know, I got a small radiator in that too, and I'm gonna probably I made a giant air dam. I got, you know, a fan, but for Dad, you know, he's 77 years old. I don't need him. I need it just to work. And I bought fuel line that's coming. We're gonna do all hard line like Chris said. I got my bung in here, and I bought a thermostat, so that's going to come on at 190 and go off at 175. He won't have to monitor, you know, the heat. It's just going to auto cycle that electric fan in there if this mechanical fan can't keep up. And I got a 4-core radiator. I had to modify the whole front end to get that radiator in, but I needed, you know, that height. I really couldn't get one any wider. And like I said, I was trying to go into frame rails, but they lied to me about the dimensions. So anyway, it took me a day. We got us a proper catch can. You know, it doesn't really make it not look less hot rod or anything. I think it makes it look pretty cool. So I don't know, it works for me. If you like this kind of stuff, check back in. Have a nice day.